Service chiefs today held a closed-door meeting with lawmakers in the National Assembly on the activities of protecting lives and property in the country. And VP Professor Yemi Osinbajo optimistic that the country will truly realize its potentials if all hands are on deck working together progressively for the nation. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimaloye in Lagos. Let's begin by telling you that the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, believes the nation will work and has the potentials, but is asking for improved collaboration between federal government and state government. According to him, he said that is the way to go. The VP believes if progressive ideas are put together and we focus as a people, then this country will indeed work. Professor Osinbajo is optimistic that the country will truly realize its potentials, especially if people who share progressive views continue to work together in the interest of the country. We have some more political stories for you on our political roundup.
President Muhammadu Buhari today launched a national policy for the promotion of indigenous content in the Nigerian telecommunications sector and revised national digital policy for SIM card registration at the State House, Abuja. According to the president, the NIN will cover one of the weaknesses in the security structure, as it will be able to easily identify and know the personality of Nigerians, especially the criminals. Present during the ceremony are Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustapha, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Mr. Issa Pantami, NCC Chairman Governing Board, Professor Adeolu Akonde, and the President's Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, amongst others. The National Working Committee of the Social Democratic Party has petitioned the National Assembly over the worsening security situation in the country, calling on the President to take leadership and save Nigeria. The party summarized this position on a 4-point strategic intervention agenda on national security. This much they raised when they took a protest to the National Assembly.
Nigeria must return to people-centered social justice principles if we are to emerge as one single country.
And River State Governor Nyesom Wike is asking the All Progressives Congress to admit that the party has failed to provide the right leadership in the country, especially in guaranteeing the safety of citizens. To this end, Governor Wike says the APC should voluntarily resign from power at the federal level, adding that no amount of publicity can influence public opinion in their favor.
They cannot continue to fold their hands and see Nigerians dying. It's not crying, but that is not a place to cry. Take action. Let us know that you are serious.
Owing to the security worries in the land, the service chiefs have held a closed-door meeting with lawmakers in the National Assembly on the activities of protecting lives and property in the country. President of the Senate, Hamel Lawan, began the session by commending members of the armed forces for safeguarding the country. He says the parliament takes the security situation in the country seriously. Take a listen to the Senate President.
This Senate, or even the entire National Assembly, is and will remain a partner in progress with you. On behalf of my colleagues, I want to commend our armed forces and other security agencies for fighting the myriad of security challenges across the country. In the process, some have given up their lives, others are maimed. We appreciate what you are doing. because we know that you are doing your best with what you have at hand. And trust us with what you think will be helpful to us as a parliament to help the cause of the armed forces and other security agencies to perform better, because you haven't achieved the optimum, and I can attribute that to inadequate resources.
And part of our conversation tonight is to seek opinions of those who are major stakeholders, especially those who are in the forefront of dealing with some of these security situations. One of them is our guest tonight, Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State, the executive governor. He joins us from Abakaliki, the capital of Ebonyi State tonight. Thank you so much, Governor Umahi, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you so much, Sean. Good evening to Nigerians.
Let's begin with this conversation relating to the issue of security. You just heard what the Senate President Ahmed Lawan said when they met with the service chiefs on the security situation. And as a state governor, what do you make of the recent the spate of attacks, and perhaps what do you think could be the real cause of the recent escalation?
Thank you, Shew. You know, generally, when people talk about the recent insecurity in our country, I keep saying that this insecurity in our country didn't just develop overnight. It has been as a result of the failure of our past leaders to address the future of our youth. And this is the truth. So it's not a question of blaming Mr. President or blaming governors or blaming APC or PDP. It is systematic, and it has been there for a very long time. And I think that the situation is such that we must, deploy sincerity in our approach. We must deploy consultation. We must deploy wisdom and prayers. If all these things are put together, I'm sure that the insecurity in the country will be a thing of the past.
So what, in your view, makes the Southeast situation peculiar? In the past weeks, things are really gotten bad, or why is the situation, or what makes the situation in the Southwest, and the Southeast rather, different from what we see, for example, in the northern part of the country?
Yeah, there is a little bit of complexity in the phase of Southeast. Before now, there's been agitation, by our young men and women, and the agitation is that we are not being fairly treated in the Committee of States in Nigeria, and this agitation being headed by Nnamdi Kanu. And, this agitation was growing and growing. And you now have the problems of the foreign herdsmen, that invaded Southeast. And a combination of this two, the agitation and the killings by herdsmen in Southeast, it kind of heightened the insecurity in Southeast. And then we have a situation in which cultists, armed robbers, have now all joined. And when they commit crime, they will say it's IPOB. But we know that a number of them that commit this crime, when some of them are apprehended, you find out that they are not IPOB. They are pure armed robbers and criminals. And they would take the guns they snatch from security agencies to go and rob. And the process, we have caught some of them.
Great. So, from the ones that you've caught, what have you been able to extract out of them?
It's a mixture of criminality, banditry, and abandonment. Some of them confess that they went into crime because of, neglect, that they have not seen any future. Some say they graduated in the past 10 years, some graduated in the past 20 years, and have not been able to find work. So these are some of the complaints, they give.
So in your state, it is not political. Different from what the governor of Imo State said, that some of these things are politically motivated.
Well, the truth is that, like we have a couple of, issues in my state, like a communal, crisis, which is not political, but it's being fueled by political interest. The killings, now, I would say not politically motivated, but it's being fueled by misguided comments of desperate politicians that want power at all costs.
So, you hold the view that the bandits needs to be negotiated with, but former President Obasanjo says that is not a good move. Do you still hold that view?
Well, I think I was a bit misquoted. The youths, they have their grievances, they have their reasons for going into crime. I do not advocate for anybody to go into crime. But you see, hunger breeds anger, and anger breeds, bitterness. And so I see young, men and women that are very bitter with the system. And so what I advocate in my state, I've done NSAS conference. I'm set to empower a number of the youths. And so I'm advocating that these youths that are not happy, that are taken to arms, I want them to come out. I want them to surrender their arms. I want to discuss with them. And I would like to integrate them to the society and their families. Because some of their reasons for going into crime may be genuine, but nothing should push a man to carry gun to kill another person. This is my position.
So you mentioned that unemployment and that the fact that young minds in Nigeria are not gainfully engaged, and that is one of the reasons you have given tonight for what the kind of insecurity that we have seen. You've had that engagement in the post-NSAS period. How many jobs or employment or engagement have you been able to put youth in Ebonyi to in the last few months?
Well, in my state, not to mind those that darken counsel without knowledge, those who have taken to social media, that even when you walk on top of water, they say that you are raising dust. We have made every part of Ebonyi State a construction site. We have built roads. A man was asking China, what is the secret of the success of China? He said, if you want to be successful as a nation, as a state, you have to build roads. I've built roads to the point that there is no place you are in Ebonyi State will not access the state capital within 30 to 45 minutes. And in doing this, I've engaged the youths, I've engaged the women. We have done most of our job by direct level. I'm creating jobs, for the youths by engaging them in road construction, in buildings, and other services. I'm also engaging them solid mineral and agriculture. And we have also built agricultural clusters where you just take your bag and come there and then get, a piece of the warehouse, and then you'll be empowered, with agri funds, and then you can start your business. So I can say that we have a lot of activities. And in our state, it's only a lazy person who doesn't like to work that we complain of hunger in my state. Everywhere you turn to, you have a construction site. And our people are doing this. And by so doing, I'm also developing our people to have second address, not just politics, because this politics in this country will one day fail us. And so I'm engaging them. And in fact, to the point that one of my commissioners, who was a civil servant in the Ministry of Works, had to resign his position as a civil servant. Why? Because he's been so trained that no matter what happens, he will never become hungry again in life. And that's the kind of thing we're doing.
We look at the sustainability. I'd like to get your final word on the issue of security and how the things are going in the Southeast, especially because you are the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum. But we take a break, and when we come back, our conversation with Governor Dave Umahi will transcend security. We'll go into issues of welfare of the people of that state, the Southeast, and Nigeria at large. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Governor Dave Umahi, the executive governor of Ebonyi State, is in Abakaliki and is our guest tonight, talking to us on the situation of security in Nigeria, in Ebonyi and the Southeast. Thank you, Governor, for your time tonight. Let's get back to the conversation, and perhaps a way to wrap up on security issues. You said there are construction jobs, but the question is, how sustainable are those kind of jobs if you really want to get the youths gainfully engaged and distract them from crime and criminalities?
You see, you cannot create employment without having the labor environment. No matter how much cash you have, if you can move from one point to the other, it's very difficult for you to do business. So first of all is to provide an atmosphere for business to thrive in the state. We have completed a shopping mall. The youths are going to be gainfully employed there, and it's the best shopping mall you can think about, in West Africa. We have completed the international market. It's the largest market in West Africa, and I want you to check and find out if I'm telling you the truth. We are about completing our international airport. All these things are jobs, creation avenues, for our youth. We have almost finished our University of Medical Sciences. It's a wonder on earth, and our people are going to be employed there. Before I leave office, I'm going to create two other universities, University of Technology and then University of Aeronautical Engineering. And all these things are provisions, for jobs. And we've empowered our people. Since I came on board, we've gotten a lot of agri, facilities from CBN. And we've created 1 man, 1 hectare of land, which has put a lot of our people, doing something with their hands. A lot of jobs have been created in this direction. We've also empowered our people in the area of solid mineral, and this is also putting a lot of, jobs, so it has a lot of multiply effect, Very soon we'll be into the limestone production, which we're almost building a factory through the assistance of the federal government. We're also going to create, salt industry. So all these things put together are what I believe will sustain job opportunities in Ebonyi State.
Quickly, Ebube Agu, it was launched. You had another meeting with your fellow governors, but it does look like it has not gotten to a full start. When do we hope to see the Ebube Agu security outfit up to full throttle?
You see, people do not understand the process of this Ebube Agu. All the Southeast, governors before now have always had their vigilante. The vigilante and other kinds of, security outfits like the forest guard, in addition to the vigilante. So what we have simply done is we have laws.
We seem to be having a frozen visual from Abakaliki, but I'm sure that in a moment that will be refreshed and we will get the governor back. Governor Dave Umahi, governor of Ebonyi State, is the one speaking with us. We've been talking to him over issues of security, and in another few moments we'll be getting into issues of economy, debt profile of the state, and perhaps if Ebonyi State can bear the burden of the minimum wage, as some states in the Federation are already crying out about the recent drop in federal allocation and what this means for some of these state governors, if they can actually bear the burden. So he's been speaking to us about Ebube Agu. That's what he was explaining in a moment before that frozen frame. And he was talking about the issue of law and how it can get started. Also, how he's engaging youths in the state in getting their minds off criminality. He also spoke about his stand on the negotiation with bandits and what former President Olusegun Obasanjo said. Governor Dave Umahi is our guest tonight on the program. I guess that he's probably back, and perhaps we'll allow the governor to land on the Ebubeagụ and how it will hit the ground running. All right, let's take another break, and when we come back, hopefully the governor will be back with us. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Let's get back to the conversation with Governor Dave Umahi. Let me allow you to land on that thought. So you're explaining Ebubeagụ and its operations and the reasons why it has not got into a full start.
Oh, no. I've said that Ebubeagụ has been there in the beginning, and that Ebubeagụ is, evolved from our various, vigilante we have in each of our states, and they've been operating, and we have laws for it. But the truth remains that we decided to make our laws similar. We decided to create, regional office for operation, to help direct the various states on modes of operation and cooperation, one state with the other. And this is what we've done. So we now have a similar law. We have mode of operation. We have also created board for the outfit, and the headquarters is at Enugu. But of course, each of the states, have their own, base in their various states and the local government. And so, what we have simply done is to change the law to have a similar law, to have, laws that we allow us to cooperate, so that somebody from people from Ebonyi can move into Enugu, especially the border areas, to effect law and order, within that location. That's what we've done. And I can assure you that before Monday, a number of states in Southeast would have passed their amended law to accommodate this common position.
Perhaps this is on this note that we will anchor, and perhaps we'd like you to help us tackle this quickly. Some states in Nigeria are in some distress financially. Some federal agencies have owned up that they may not be able to make their contributions to the federal allocations monthly, which may impact in what gets to the state government's purse. What's your plan to absorb this kind of shock?
Well, it is. I don't believe that the state should be allowed to, further get any shock. The states are already bleeding. The states are already in a very bad situation, and the security of the nation, the states are, shouldering that to empower the youth, to create, welfare for our people. The situation is quite very, very, challenging. So, I will not advocate a situation in which there is further shock on the finances of the state. So I believe that we will be able, as governors, to sit with our leaders at the center and be able to see how the situation will be managed. Because a chain is as strong as the weakest link. If one state is in trouble, the rest of the country is in trouble. So I'm sure that we are going to discuss it, and we're going to find solution to that.
Well, unfortunately, this is how far we can go on the program, but I must sincerely thank you, Governor Dave Umahi, Executive Governor of Ebonyi State, for your time tonight on the program.
Thank you, Seun. I'm grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Seun Okinbaloye. Bye-bye.